Rollin Music Records was started back in 2005 when Official talked change into rapping and fulfilling his dream that began back in 1987 when he first heard Too Short's second album, Born to Mac. In 2007, Change moved forward by starting an internet marketing campaign, starting with his alter ego Change, by using Change as a platform to learn the new marketing strategies taught to him by George Renfro, who was and still is considered to be one of the greatest independent promoters ever. In 2008, Official gathered some neighborhood artists and Rollin Music Records was born with its first compilation album, Heat in the Streets 1, featuring artists all the way down from Southern California and as far north as Sacramento. This album was given away as a promotional item, with Rollin Music Records eating all the costs in order to gain more fans and exposure. In 2009, Change was able to use the music skills that he had learned from his mentor George Renfro and began to perform in local neighborhood clubs around Los Angeles with the rest of his group. Their first performance was at the Blue Monkey in East Hollywood. The performance was sold out. From that point on, they continued to fill up clubs around Los Angeles with local promoters such as Rick Hard, Zoe Johnson, Urban Underground, and many more. In 2010, Rollin Music Records released its final compilation album, Heat in the Streets 3. This was due to indifferences and swollen egos. One more album was supposed to drop after that, which was the full debut album, which was supposed to be any artist as long as it was 3 or more on a song, eliminating the compilation projects and creating a group that would be more marketable. The group soon broke up, however, due to other artists thinking they were better than the other artists because of peer criticism. Hoping to break up the group and ruin the label because they thought it was a stolen form of gangster rap, even though the style was changed and combined with every aspect of hip-hop, including its roots, which came from New York, which heavily influenced Change and his friends who were huge fans from the beginning of hip-hop. This hurt RMR because they were being shot down by the very artists that they ran the streets listening to. Despite the breakup, Change was determined to finish what he started. So he continued in his solo career. Additionally, Change got very serious digestive issues which almost crippled him. Nevertheless, he did not give up. To him, it was not about making money, but fulfilling a lifelong dream, whether he made it commercially or not. It was the completion of projects and building a portfolio of product that was more than just music, but a testimony of the life that they all used to live. But now, being grown men, chose to contribute to society instead of hating on the very country that made all artists rich. This was the image that Change wanted RMR to reflect, was that gangsters had turned responsible citizens, in that which they helped instead of hurt.
This is the doctor.
I got that XF Jaguar ready to roll. My game is cold, man. I leave your dame with frozen loaves. Posted up like a boss behind a till on the windows. Corporate G got me hooked on catching cabs and limos. Royalty, the status symbol, better yet a supernova. Slinging everything from CDs to Diet Coca-Cola. My cell phone is tapped, got them hoes on my dick. I'm smoking Cali Doja, plus I go so hard on the bitch. I got that Bond sway in my swag. Nigga, you can eat a dick from LA to Vegas, pocket full of black crap cheers.
In 2011, Change's condition worsened. At this time, Change felt as if he was on his deathbed, so then he dropped 2 more albums back to back, both recorded within 2 months of each other. It was then that Change had almost given up on his dream. In 2012, Change's condition continued to worsen. Now, his back was damaged in the upper and lower area, and he had also lost his job due to the back injury, which was sustained on the job. Now jobless, Change faced certain failure because he was now bedridden. With his backing capital now gone, he knew his job had just become more difficult. However, at this point, he did not care because he was sure that he was going to die. In 2013, Change moved to Las Vegas, Nevada due to relationship issues. This is where his father heard his new album, On Again. Change had no plans on releasing the album. However, his father had other plans. That year, Change's father became the CFO of RMR, which changed everything because his father was a professional marketer and was responsible for the rise of Black Hollywood back in the late 80s and early 90s. At this point, Change's reputation really grew along with the RMR brand. He was able to get radio play nationally and gain some recognition. In 2014, Change moved back to Los Angeles and caught up with Official, who had debuted on his new album. And they both decided to find one artist and finish the FOE album. They lucked out and found two, Ridiculous Fontaine and Nick Nizzle, who had been on previous projects before but was too busy with his new family at the time. Together, they recorded the debut album in 1 week. Before the initial release, a video was released in the form of animation entitled Smashing Off for the debut album. And through that video, they were offered a deal by Universal, which they politely turned down due to the fact that they wanted to have more product for any deal that they might get. On 10/1/2014, Foe's debut album released, completing the campaign of RMR and its legacy. Rollin Music. Rollin Music. Rollin Music. Rollin Music. Rollin Music. Rollin Music Records. I mean, at one point, that's what I really wanted them to be screaming. You know, once I really got into that shit. Because it ain't nothing like being up on that stage. All eyes on you and you got the attention of pretty much 70% of the room at that moment. Right on you. Like I was saying, one day I was sitting down with George and he was over there talking about, bullshitting about motherfuckers and shit. I think somebody had just left out the office and we was clowning them or something. We had gotten to the whole respect thing and loyalty, you know what I mean, and trusting and stuff. And he was just talking to me. It's like he didn't even have to tell. He knew. And he told me, he looked at me right now and said, Joe, you're going to have to trust somebody sometime. And most of them don't realize that shit till it's too late. Then they want to come back and see what the fuck you doing and try to see what you doing and why you going further than them. And it's like, well, if you'd have been sitting here watching and learning like I've been telling you, you might know what to do. It takes more than Facebook views. It takes more than doing shows. Sometimes it takes more than getting radio spins. Because you might be hot in one area. You know what I mean? You might just be hot in one state. You know what? I'm going to give you 4 states. But there's 50 states. See what I'm saying? So really, you ain't really blown up at all. Because you ain't really hit it nationally. And you might have gone and spent, you know what I mean, that marketing money and got all 50 states. You let that shit spin, but motherfuckers was like, that shit's, nah, we ain't cool with that shit. You know, we like this type shit. Because that's usually what I see. I ain't gonna sit here and talk about motherfucker shit boo-boo. Okay, because I think a lot of niggas shit boo-boo. Because I think you stupid for standing up on the fucking stage in the first fucking place. Unless you getting $1 million. But see, everybody got to start somewhere. And usually it's right at the bottom. This is the end of the chapter. The part where you let go. But the truth is, I'm not the only one that has stakes in this company. So, if they choose to go on, then they do.